What time is it?
It's Island time! So I live on Island time.
You're listening to Island Time Radio.
Island time.
Now here's your host, Dennis King.
We've got a show to do. We've got trop rock music ahead. We got a great guest. Sean McCarthy's going to join us. Stick around. It's Island Time on the Sting tonight.
Yeah, let's go. Don't forget the bait.
Hey, you know what? I heard they're biting down there on the point. Let's go get some beer.
Okay.
I'll meet you at 5:30 in the morning. What do you say?
5:30? Dang. Okay, well, you might have to call me and wake me up.
All right, I'll call you. See ya!
Hey, Sean, there's no such thing as a bad day of fishing. You come off the water just to play some music. You'll never like yourself overboard.
Sean McCarthy Band right there with A Bad Day of Fishing, the title track to the album of the same name in 2012. And, Sean, I might have a little struggle with that 5:30 a.m. wake-up call myself. I tell you what. Kenny Chesney was in there also. No shoes, no shirt, no problem. Going back a few years, that's right, on Island Time tonight. And we started things off with Stuck on Jimmy Buffett Time. That is Jason Caraway. And DK is on duty. Dennis King, we've got a fun show lined up tonight. We've got, like I said, we got Sean McCarthy joining us here as our live interview, and Linda Robb will join us, co-interviewing with us, if you will. Sean McCarthy from the Sean McCarthy Band will join us from FLA right after this quick break on Island Time. There we go. Let's go down to FLA, and we're going to get that name right, Linda. It is Fernandina, Florida.
I knew you were going to mess it up.
Sean, are you there?
I didn't want to try.
Sean McCarthy.
Yeah, I am. I had $20 on you that you were going to screw it up. And you...
You sound. I told him, he goes, I'll get it right. I'll get it right. He was practicing. I go, you're not going to be able to get it right. I said, I'm not even going there.
You guys will have to come down here and like spend a week, and we'll take a class on how to be Fernandinian.
Okay, that sounds like
Yeah, that'd be worth it.
Say it for us, Sean. Say it.
Fernandina Beach.
Fernandina Beach. See? It's
Yeah,
not that
and
hard.
Linda, I'll make sure it's 82 when you get here.
Oh, please, thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's been cold in Florida lately, so.
Yeah, it's cold tonight. It's going down the 40s, but you know.
And they had snow.
It's live.
Not compared to here.
They had snow in Texas yesterday. Also, we were seeing all the video. So,
Oh, yeah.
Sean, welcome to the show. You hail from that beach in Florida, and you also are a Nashville recording artist and
Yeah.
songwriter and lead vocalist for the Sean McCarthy Band. And you have garnered a lot of attention. You played a lot of festivals lately, and one of them is really popular called the Sing Out Loud Festival. And
Yeah.
done all kinds of stuff recently. You've got your Sean McCarthy Band Corona Sessions. It's an intimate at-home concert series developed during the virus, right?
Yeah, we were getting stir crazy, real
I
stir
bet.
crazy, and my oldest son's girlfriend said, "You need to do one of these shows like John Legend did, right after the pandemic. You know, whenever we all went in lockdown."
Yeah.
So I'm not tech savvy, but they taught me through it. They're out in Vegas, and they taught me through it. So 25 shows later, we did it for 6 months, and we had it really built the fan base great, and got people from not going stir crazy, and it kept me from going stir crazy. So it was all good.
You know, I think I've seen at least a couple of those because we were watching all kinds of online shows there for a while. I do kind of remember that, yeah.
But wasn't it great? It was great, you know. I got to see some friends of mine that I ain't seen in years.
Yeah.
They were songwriter buddies of mine, and they were doing it too. I was like, this is so cool.
So are you still doing those?
We're going to do a new thing called Take 5.
Okay.
And I'm probably going to do a couple, like, 1-hour shows, maybe like once a quarter. But hopefully we can get out from underneath this now that we've got this vaccine coming out. We can get out from a lockdown and get back to going out and doing festivals again. So that's what I'm hoping for this year. I'm here in, like, April or May.
That would be awesome. Let's cross our fingers. Linda, you got something for Sean tonight.
Yeah, Sean. So I was reading that article that was written about you in the Amelia Island magazine. And Amelia is easier to say than the other word, thankfully.
Yeah.
But anyways, you have a son that was adopted, and then 35 years later, he found you. I can relate to that story because I was actually adopted, and I found both my birth parents around the same time as your son found you. So yeah, so I could feel that, feel and understand your story and what it's like to meet, birth parents for the first time. But anyways, you mentioned that you had not written
Linda,
a song.
did you get to meet yours? Linda, did you get to meet
Yeah, I met him. Yep, I met both birth parents. First my mom and then my father, yeah.
That's the same way. Perfect.
Yep. So you mentioned you hadn't written a song in years, but that your adopted son kind of inspired you, and you formed a band then and came out with your latest CD, which is Last House on the Beach. So tell us a little bit about this CD.
Well, how this went down, it's probably been 3.5, 4 years ago now that his name's Jason. He came back into my life like, we had to give him up for adoption because we were young, and back in those days you didn't talk back to your parents or, you didn't rebel. And anyway, long story short, 3.5 years ago, he comes back into my life. My band was already together. I already had all my band guys. We'd been together for, some of us, my pedal steel player now, Hot Shot Carter, and I've been together for 30 years. And but when I hadn't written in about 7 years. So when Jason came into my life, we just got close immediately. It's hard. Well, Linda, you probably understand, but it was like we'd never been apart. So anyway, he knew I was a writer and a musician and all that stuff. And he says, "When the last time you wrote one?" I said, 7, 8 years ago. And so he said, "What happened?" I said, just, my time's up." And so he said, "Do me a favor." He said, "Try and have me a song written by next week." So a week went by and I had half a song written. But 2 days after that, I had a whole song written. And I played it for him over the telephone. And after that, they just started coming like water. And that's been 3.5 years ago. So the pandemic's really helped me. I've been writing like crazy. Oh. Now, are they all good? Probably a handful of them are good, but I've been writing like crazy. So it's really good to be inspired, and I got to thank him for that. And all my bandmates, all the guys have been great. We've got a new album out this past year called Last House on the Beach, and it turned out really well. Put a new single out at Christmas time called Low Country Christmas. I think y'all played that, didn't you, Dennis?
Yes, we did. Yes, at Christmas time, yes.
That was a fun one. We were trying to get a whole album done, but with the pandemic, I'm just a big Christmas head. I love Christmas. So, but we couldn't pull it off just because of the
all right,
restriction.
We'll look forward to the Sean McCarthy Christmas album next year. I tell you what.
Hopefully. Hopefully. Yeah.
11 tracks on the Last House on the Beach album, folks. It's the latest one. And, Sean, you write all of the band's music, right?
I do. I write the majority of it. The past, this past stint of songs that have come out of my head have mostly been on my own, but I have a few co-writers. I don't get to write, in Nashville hardly at all anymore, and I still have a lot of friends up there. But I love being there to write with them. It's hard doing it over the telephone.
Sure.
So, but I do a lot of writing. But luckily, they've been coming, Dennis. I'm an avid bicyclist. I love mountain biking.
Really?
Share my phone with me. This whole last album got started. Every song got started on my mountain bike.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I don't have my guitar with me. I have my phone and sing the ideas that I got in my head on my iPhone on notes.
Wow. When
I get home, I pick up the guitar, find out what key I'm in, and the lyrics just start pouring out. That's how that whole last album went. Wow. It was crazy.
Fantastic.
So you're like holding onto your bicycle with one hand and speaking in the lyrics into your cell phone with the other, or what?
No, I have a holder for my iPhone on the back of the handlebars, and I just hit notes and I hit record, and it just plays all my. I just let it run. That's how we used to do it in Nashville when I was writing in Nashville. But those years ago, you'd have a cassette player, and they'd put you in a room, and the cassette itself was probably 4 hours long. As soon as you get in, you hit play, and you record the whole session. Whether you get a whole song written or not, you go back and go, man, what did I say 5 minutes ago? And you can dig
very
through.
Cool. Yeah.
That's how your material got done. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What would you?
Back then.
What would your? How would you describe your songwriting style? Is it influenced by living in Florida, like the beach situation, or just lots of different things?
Yeah, I'd have to say a lot of it stems from that, but it's all just what hits me. When I was writing with a couple of great songwriters up in Nashville, and I'll mention one, he's gone now, but George McCorkle from Marshall Tucker. I was got to write with him only twice over the years, but we became really good friends, and he became really good friends with my daughter, Erin. They became pen pals. Anyway, he told me, he said, Sean, he said, we all got antennas. And he said, but our antennas happen to be a little taller than everybody else's. And we have a pencil and a piece of paper in our hand, and we write all the ideas down.
There you go.
And I never forgot that, and it's always stuck with me. So to answer your question, a lot of them just come from life.
Yeah.
So, and I've spent a lot of time here. I mean, I was off and on in Nashville for years, but where I'm at right now is home. I'm at my beach house, my family's beach house here on the very north end of Florida. You know where that icon is down in Key West? It says no further, the southeast point of the United States.
Yes.
Well, if you go on the opposite end of Florida, if you go any, like 2 blocks from my house is Georgia. You'd be a Georgia cracker. Only we don't have one of those monuments. We just have a piece of PVC with cardboard taped to it that says, "End of Florida."
Our mutual buddy, Fred Wonder, I believe, lives there, right? Do you guys know each other?
Yeah, he does.
Isn't he up in Georgia? Isn't he on St. Simon's? I think he's up on. I think that's his name.
Fred Wonder. Yeah, I thought he was actually in your town. Yeah.
Yeah, he is in your town.
Okay.
He's in Fernandina.
Yeah, or Amelia Island. I don't know which
Yeah, same thing. You're afraid to say Fernandina, aren't you?
thing or what. I've never been there, so. I just didn't want to say that name, so.
We're avoiding that at all costs. All right, Sean McCarthy, we're gonna play a couple of your tunes, and then we will talk a little bit more. Linda actually loves this one, and she requested it. It is from the Last House on the Beach album. It is called "Circlin Around." Sean McCarthy, our special guest tonight on Island Time.
It started way back at the dawn of time. This old world started spinning. And he talked Adam into biting that apple. Started all the losing and winning. It don't matter really who you are. We all carry some kind of scar. We're just circling around, chasing your tail. Going so fast till you're as crazy as hell. Trying to keep up with what is never enough, and you can never slow down. You're just circling around. Seems more these days everything is a competition. Striving to stay on top is a #1 mission. Slow down and enjoy the ride. Stop trying to fight that tide. You're just circling around, chasing your tail. Going so fast till you're as crazy as hell. Trying to keep up with what is never enough, and you can never slow down. You're just circling around. Don't worry, you won't miss the bus. You're just circling like the rest of us. You're just circling around, chasing your tail. Going so fast till you're as crazy as hell. Trying to keep up with what is never enough, and you can never slow down. You're just circling around. Circling around. Circling around and around and around and around and around. Round and around we go. Where it all stops, no one's ever gonna know. Circling around.
Hey, Dad, can we have an ice cream parlor when we get in?
That sounds like a great idea. Let's take it to the dock, boys!
Hey, this is DK.
And Linda Robb, and you're listening to the longest running trop rock radio show on the air.
The Island Time Radio Show. Fins up, everybody.
I'm from a town so small they didn't put it on a map. Tell you where I'm from, you say where the hell is that? It's a nowhere town. It's a nowhere town. Yeah, I tell you where I'm from. It's a shadow in the sun, but when the sun goes down, it's in a nowhere town. Well, it ain't got much, just a few gas pumps, railroad tracks. It's a big speed bump. It's a nowhere town. It's a nowhere town. Tell you where I'm from. It's a shadow in the sun, but when the sun goes down, it's a nowhere town. I used to say I'm gonna waste away, nowhere town. It's better out there if I can get somewhere out of nowhere town. Now I'm going nowhere. It's where I wanna be. Nowhere's out there, somewhere calling me. Little boy. I'm from a town so small they didn't put it on the map. But if you give me one, I'll show you where it's at. It's a nowhere town. Yeah, nowhere town. It took me leaving the sea. That's where I want to be now. Where I'm bound. A nowhere town. Yeah, I used to say I'm gonna waste away in nowhere town. It's better out there if I could get somewhere out of nowhere town. Now I'm going nowhere, and that's where I want to be. Yeah, nowhere's out there, somewhere calling me. I used to say I'm gonna waste away in nowhere town. It's better out there if I can get somewhere out of nowhere town. Now I'm going nowhere, not where I wanna be. Yeah, now nowhere's out there, somewhere calling me. Nowhere's out there, somewhere calling me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hello, darling. You live around here?
Nowhere Town. That is Sean McCarthy Band from their latest album, which is called Last House on the Beach. And that was also a Linda Robb request. She liked that one as well, Nowhere Town. We have Linda and Sean McCarthy on the telephone.
That's cool, Linda. I'm glad you like those songs.
I like them too, by the way.
Linda, I wrote that with like a childhood buddy of mine, and that was him singing that second verse, Davis Turner. And he and I think Susan Gallion, we co-wrote that together. But he is a very talented writer, and man, I love his voice. He's so soulful. And that was him playing the guitar, the slide in the guitar on. He lives here in Fernandina too. He's just a monster.
Great tune.
Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that
Thank you.
nowhere town? Is that talking about that F town that you live in?
No.
I don't
You know
know
what? You would have to bring that up. You know, I want to tell you, Dennis, Cleveland Browns all the way to the Super Bowl. I wanna tell you that.
Love that. Love that idea.
But tonight is Ohio, the Buckeyes, and, the Tide. And I got to pull for the Tide because where the town Davis grew up in, is where Derrick Henry's from.
Oh, wow.
Derrick Henry, who played for Alabama, he's from Yulee. He's the Yulee Bulldozer is what they call him. And you know what's crazy? Over the holidays, I was in a grocery store down here on the island, and I was down the damn dairy aisle, and there he is. Derek Henry's in there getting some age like me. And I said, are you who I think you are? I mean, how can you hide his hair? You know, it's just, he said, yeah, but man, don't make a big deal. I said, don't worry about it. It's okay. All good.
Love it.
But I want the Browns to do it, Bubba, tonight, or, Super Bowl.
Thank you. That sounds like a dream. We'll see how it goes. Go ahead, Linda. I know you had a question.
Yeah, so Sean, besides being a musician, I see that you also own your own business, which is named after a song on your Bad Day of Fishing CD. So tell us a little bit about this business you got going.
Well, music's always been my passion and my night job, we'll call it. So my day money is, I've always loved boats, and I've built boats. I've done anything on a boat you can possibly think of, ran them, fished them. But I'm a boat captain. I've been a boat captain for 30 years now. So, and I used to run big motor yachts, and I've ran small fishing vessels, and I've done backwater fly fishing. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Linda, you're in Wisconsin, aren't you? Isn't that where you're at? Up there?
Yep, Wisconsin, yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you turn on ESPN on Saturday mornings, you can watch these guys bonefish down in the Keys, and we do that up here for redfish. So, that's what I do during the day. It's called Hey Captain. But Hey Captain was written by a great friend of mine by the name of Vic Waters. He's got like 11 albums out, man. He's another just killer songwriter. He's out of Georgia, out of Eulonia, Georgia. But it was his song, and I've been singing his song for 35 years. So I started when I got off the last big boat I ran. I said, I don't want to be under the thumb of a big motor yacht anymore. So I'm going to start a company and help people out with their boats. So instead of running one boat, now I run whoever calls me and wants me to run their boat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the story behind Hey Captain.
Very cool.
That's a cool job.
My buddy wanted me to tell y'all that, y'all remember Barbara Mandrell?
Oh, yeah.
Country singer?
Yep.
All right. You remember the song she had out with George Jones called She Was Country? I was country and country wasn't cool?
Well, you're right, yes.
Yeah. Well, Taylor Dunn, who's the reason that we got involved with you guys or found you guys, Taylor Dunn and I moved to Nashville the same day in 1984, and we've been friends ever since. We co-wrote a ton of songs together. Towards the end there, he was writing for Reba, for her company, Starstruck, and he had quite a few cuts by different artists. Paul Overstreet. Paul Overstreet's on Trop Rock now.
Yeah,
and that's one of the main reasons.
Yep.
Had him on.
That's one of the main reasons I came to y'all, because Paul was doing that stuff. But anyway, Taylor said, Sean, you were Trop Rock when Trop Rock wasn't cool.
Right.
And I got turned down by a bunch of people in '84. They said, we already got one Jimmy Buffett. Why do we need two?
Well, there are a few more now.
There is quite a few more.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
That's right. But I've always loved it, and like Taylor said, Sean, you just came by it naturally. You just lived it. So I think I'm a little. I lean a little to the countryside of Trop Rock, but by God, I grew up 500 feet from the Atlantic Ocean, so I've got to have some kind of Trop Rock in me.
I would think so, yeah. And I think that's the best way, if it just comes naturally from your life, instead of just trying to sound like that.
Yeah.
That's the best way.
Yeah.
Some of your influences were Jackson Browne, Harry Chapin, and when you were in Nashville, you played at the famed Bluebird Cafe and the Douglas Corner Cafe. I've been to the Bluebird Cafe, really terrific listener venue there. And
it is.
Let's see. Oh, you had a special song. You sent me this single. Tell us the story about this one. It's called Sarah's Island, and I know there's a great story behind it, right?
All right. I'll try and keep it short.
Yeah.
This island we live on is real small, like I told you, Northeast Florida. But there's a lot of little islands that are between us and the mainland, going over the causeway. And this lady she moved here from England when she was a baby, and this is back in the late 1800s. And I got asked to write this song. It's a development now on this island. These people bought this island. but I wrote it with my drummer, Daniel Daly. He's a drummer in our band. And anyway, we did a bunch of research on her, and she just lived on that island by herself. When they moved here from England, her dad bought the property. She was a baby. Dad bought the property, and it was him and his wife and 2 daughters. And Sarah was the youngest daughter. The mother died. The sister got married and moved away, and the father eventually died. In the last 30 years of her life, she lived on this island. It's called Crane Island. Crane Island's the development now. Okay. But as a child and growing up, I always knew it as Sarah Ellis Island. Sarah Alice, not Ellis, Alice. And her last name was Broadbent. If you ever want to pull it up, a great story, pull it up and read it. But anyway, this lady, she died in 1952. She disappeared. Her house burned down, and they never found her body. But she lived on that island all by herself. It was a 1,000-acre island, is what it was, 1,000 acres. And but anyway, what a cool. He and I sat here. I'm sitting in my living room where I do all my writing, and Daniel and I wrote that song. Took us 2 afternoons. I told him about the idea, and he's like I said, he's from Ireland, and he went to school to be a lawyer, but he never finished. Or he finished, but he didn't practice. He loved research, so he pulled up a bunch of research on her. I just knew all the hearsay, and so we penned it in two different sessions. We penned it, and it's one of my favorite songs. We recorded it here on the island. I get all my mastering done back in Nashville at the RCA building, and but we recorded it right here. It's called a live session, where all of us are sitting in the same room, and we got baffles between us, and we played it. I just felt it needed to be done that way, and a friend of mine's studio where we did it 7 different times, and we picked the 5th time. We recorded them live, just like at a bar, just live. And, we take breaks in between, and we did it 7 times. We figured the 5th cut was the perfect cut. So if you guys ever get a chance, well, I'm sure you and Linda listen to it, but you guys out there in Radio Land, if y'all ever want to listen to it, pull it up. And,
it's called Sarah's Island.
Yeah, Sarah's Island.
Well, she was born Sarah Ellis Broadbent. Mama said she was heaven sent as they made their way across to America. Daddy bought a piece of land, their own little island. Strong, wise, together they raised her up. Deep inside back then, young Sarah knew this island would have a hold on her, strong as any glue. She was 5'3" and eyes brown, heading barefoot into town. She never really had too much to say, 'cause there were things to see, chores to do. Never took time for me or you. The whole town said she's crazy in a way, while she's smiling out there on her island. She was always up before the sun, walked to the beat of a different drum. Being on her own was how she liked it. Happy-go-lucky, never had the blues, never wore a pair of shoes. To say that she was backwoods, she defined it. But out there on the island, she was a queen. And if she had a crown to wear, it wouldn't mean a thing. She was 5'3" and eyes of brown, heading barefoot into town. She never really had too much to say, 'cause there were things to see, chores to do. Never took time for me or you. The whole town said she's crazy in a way, while she's smiling out there on her island. Disappeared in 1952. They never left a trace and didn't find a clue. She was 5'3" and eyes of brown, heading barefoot into town. She never really had too much to say. There were things to see, chores to do. Never took time for me or you. The whole town said she's crazy anyway, but I know she's smiling out on Sarah's Island.
I'm more of a storyteller, as you can tell. You asked who my influences were. Harry Chapin, James Taylor, Jimmy Buffett. They're all, Jackson Brown. They're all storytellers to me. I love a storyteller.
Absolutely.
I think that's my Irish.
That's what this show's about. A lot of great stories, actually, in the songs. You're recapping your musical career here. You have 3 albums. The first one is Life in a Beach Town. We have A Bad Day of Fishing, and the new one, Last House on the Beach. Unless there's something else I don't know about.
Nope, those are that. And we have a couple singles out. And what we might start doing this year is we might start throwing a few singles out here and there through the year. Just let one release out. Yeah. Hey, but the cool thing about Another Tie to Trop Rock, when I did my first album in '96, Mike Geiger, who produced the album, he and I were childhood friends. We grew up here in Fernandina. Him and his partner, Woody Moas, they moved to Nashville in '80, I think it was, and I moved in '84, and they coached me into moving up there. But they had hits from George Strait, George Jones, Montgomery Gentry, Kenny Chesney. They had hits by everybody. But Mike he's a huge influence in my life. He's actually down here in Florida right now. I saw him last weekend. So I don't know where I was going with that. I got lost. I got sidetracked. Sorry about that.
On the back cover of the new album, that's the full band, 7-piece, right? Or no, 1, 2, 3, 6-piece.
Well, it's Carter plays pedal steel, Daniel Daly plays drums, Ernie Elam plays bass, Marcus Carter plays guitar, and me on vocals. So there's 5 of us. And sometimes we have a harmonica player. Mark Deaton comes sits in with us. And so, yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you real quick.
Yeah.
Buzz Cason's where I recorded Life in the Beach Town. My first album was recorded in Berry Hill in Nashville. And Buzz Cason was the guy that helped Jimmy Buffett get signed to his first deal on ABC Records, him and Ronnie Gant.
Wow.
That's a cool story.
There you go.
When Mike Geiger walked me in the studio, he goes, there's some guy that I think you kind of like this guy. He recorded a bunch of albums in there, and I walked in, and all the Buffets from Changes in Attitude on back to Living and Dying 3/4 Time, all the gold albums were on the wall, and I was in singing in the vocal booth where he did all that, A1A and all those albums.
Really?
I was like, holy, this is just crazy. I get to do this.
That's awesome.
I've been really blessed. I talked to a friend of mine earlier tonight, and he read that article in the Allender magazine and said, Sean, you have been blessed, haven't you? I said, I've been blessed so many times I can't see straight. So,
fantastic. SeanMcCarthyBand.com is your website. And can folks get the music there or other places, or where?
Well, I would rather them to get it there. Go to SeanMcCarthyBand.com, and you can download all my music right there, and you can buy hats and T-shirts and koozies and whatever else my son can come up with. Jason, he's my He's my manager, and him and his team keep me straight.
All right. Well, Sean, thank you so much for taking some time tonight. We're going to play Gimme Back My Island here. But thanks so much for taking the time.
Well, listen.
Yeah, thanks, Sean.
Thank y'all so much. Hey, Linda and Dennis, thank y'all so much for playing my stuff and giving me some time. And I love y'all's whole concept. Keep it up.
Thank you, man. We're anxious to get back to Florida, but a lot of things are preventing us right now. But we plan to get down there again.
When it gets done, call me and I'll come get you at the airport.
Really? Oh, another offer, Linda.
Great. Yeah.
Another airport ride.
I'm not kidding. Come on.
Thanks, Sean. That sounds great. SeanMcCarthyBand.com.
Stay warm.
Fins up, and we'll talk down the road.
Okay.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
We moved way down here 100 years ago. We were looking for a better life, running from the cold. Way back then, folks were friendly, and we listened to the radio. Couldn't get away with nothing without Mama knowing. Friday night we'd all pile in to see what movie's showing. Times sure were simpler then. Now the train is running out of control. Give me back, give me back, give me back my island. Give it back, give it back, give it back right now. Give me back, give me back, give me back my island. Tell me, what do you really need with it anyhow? Now there's a for sale sign everywhere you turn. Fancy cars and big old houses and money to burn. Still there's nowhere that we can dock our boats. They say we can't walk on a beach no more. They're filling up all the pockets of the politicians. While we're standing here in line filling out petitions. Now I'm all about making a dollar, but my cheeks are sure getting sore. Give me back, give me back, give me back my island. Give it back, give it back, give it back right now. Give me back, give me back, give me back my island. Tell me, what do you really need with it anyhow? Seems like everybody wants to be here now, don't you know? They're all looking for a better life, running from the cold. Let's treat it like it's
Sean McCarthy Band right here on Island Time. All right, that's going to do it for Island Time. Thanks once again to Sean McCarthy, the Sean McCarthy Band. How fun was that? Thanks to Linda Robb for helping us out tonight.